Today we are at Hacienda Alabama, in La Dorada Caldas, with a delegation from the country of Costa Rica. They come from other cattle ranches here in the area, where they are looking at all the genetic development we have within reach, and what we are going to do here in Alabama is what we have been doing for 10 years, doing a continuous improvement of the breed, both Gyre and F and Girolando. We are in this moment in a conference today with this visit. We are going to see the Gyre females and males, their offspring, their crosses, their production, and what we are bringing to the track right now that is winning championships. And we are going to look at the Girolando system that we bring here to us, where we are already implementing dairy with these animals that are of a very interesting production for the low tropics. The crossbreeding at this moment for the low tropics, I think the most important thing is to continue with the Holstein cattle. From there we are obtaining very interesting results, where we see that the heifers with very good pastures have a development, and their gait, let's say at around 22 months of age, we are already beginning to detect that they can be pregnant if they are at the right weight. We are going to get them pregnant, and that's it. When they reach their first calving, they are cattle that are giving us more or less 12 liters on average per day in the pasture, and thus there is a silage supplement in concentrate, logically much more. We have been working on the track for about 8 years. Let's say that we have been harvesting triumphs for the last 3 years of what we have been working on for years. In the guide cattle we have a good train of cattle where we have been doing very well with 2 females. Fortunately, in the male cattle we have at the moment 3 males that are leading their championships in the minor champion and calf champion at the moment. After owning what we have here at Hacienda Alabama, we feel proud to be leading in the tracks. It is not an easy task. It is something that requires a lot of dedication. It is something that takes a lot of economic wear and tear. I believe that the results are being seen, so I invite the other cattle ranches that are interested in the genetic activity of Hacienda Alabama. We are willing to attend them. I come with a group of producers associated with the Dos Pinos Cooperative of Costa Rica, the largest in Costa Rica and Central America, and we come to acquire knowledge, to know how they are working here in Colombia in the grazing and genetic part. This area, here, this region is very similar to the ones we have, because of the altitude, humidity, temperature. It is very similar to us. The same for the parasite and external conditions. What influences us? So we had the opportunity last year to be here, in Colombia also, but in the region of Pereira, Armenia, a region of the Eje Cafetero, and we were concerned about why this region was not very similar to ours. We were concerned about coming to know other farms here in this region in Colombia. We are seeing that you are working with the producers. Here, the crossbreeding in the genetic part, the management of the animals in the part of pastures, and then these could be things that we can adapt to our environment. This is the second farm we have seen. But what we have seen we have liked. Mainly the management, because it is a rustic management. It is a management that is in accordance with the environment. So it has to be a low-cost milk production, so that the producer can make his improvements. our intention is to see mainly the part of the grazing management. How the grazing is managed. The grazing based, in the grazing of different days of different systems. So what we have seen today by region, by zone, is a part where we can improve to use it. The grazing that the animal feeds more on grass and less on concentrates or raw materials that have a high cost for milk production. But I tell you that Colombia has many things to teach us. Colombia has a lot of research, a lot of field work, which is worth coming to know. It is worth coming to know, it is worth acquiring that knowledge, to adapt it to our environment. Then, it is very important. Besides, Colombia is very close to us. There would be another option. The other option would be Brazil, for example, but the distance is much greater and it is also not so much our reality. Then Colombia has an environment and a reality very similar to ours. So, I repeat, it is worth coming, getting to know and taking these new experiences with you. Good morning, today we are at Hacienda Alabama. Hacienda Alabama is a farm dedicated to the production of red Brahman, white Brahman, gyre, and Girolando animals. Today we are in the farm with the visit of some friends from Costa Rica, who came to know the different farms that are in the area of La Dorada, and we have achieved strategic alliances for both Colombian livestock and Costa Rican livestock. For them there was a great interest in the subject of our livestock, our dairy. There is a lot of interest from them in this topic, since they have dairies with similar conditions to ours, both in the cold climate part, as in the quality part, and they are very interested in crosses with Girolando cattle. This is a good alternative from the point of view that it is a breed that behaves very well in low tropics. It is a breed that resists external parasites and in addition to that has very good performance in terms of milk production and interval between parts. Livestock Alabama's greatest achievement in the Girolando and gyre channel that we have has come from Brazilian cows of Brazilian genetics. We have taken into account the great matrices of Brazil to innovate with a breed that has very good milk production in the low tropics. We cross it with all the Holsteins of the best breeds of the best genetic houses that are in Colombia. There are many of them when they have a supply of important bulls, which we take into account genomic bulls or bulls that for their performance improve our production characteristics, breed and type. It is indisputable that the Girolando breed in F1 has its greatest exponent of production, a breed that is a good alternative, not only for Colombia but for other countries, and this has achieved strategic alliances for both countries, and for other countries in which we can have access to this genetics so important for all. It is important in Colombia to continue working seriously, taking into account that the farms have to advance every day, especially in data systematization, working on data and figures that improve selection. In addition to that, it is important that in Colombia there is support from the national government for all cattle breeders. In this way we can expand our borders and achieve good alliances with other countries. Today we are at Hacienda Alabama and we are presenting to some Costa Rican cattle breeders the benefits, so to speak, of two lines of Bos indicus and Bos taurus. The Bos indicus, in the topic of gold, Brahman, Gyre and Bos taurus we have the breed Blonde de Aquitania. What is important here is to show the world the work we are doing here in Colombia, both in genetics as well as in the management of the animals. It is a matter of administration that is very important in the evolution of the animals at a genetic level, but also to show the people the advances we have had in nutrition and all the management issues to be efficient and to be able to obtain more profitability. They should also look at a mirror in what sense, as the climatic conditions are very similar to those they have there. So they should come and replicate what we have been able to create here in their livestock in Costa Rica, and also be as efficient in terms of genetic advances in nutrition as we have been talking about now. Finally, when we do this, already in the farm with Brahman cattle, Zebu cattle and crossbreeding, we find that all this is printed in this crossbreeding. We find animals that at weaning can reach 280 kilos at weaning, and before 2 years of age we can be slaughtering them with weights of around 480 kilos. Without having any problem in the adaptability issue, and apart from that we talk about grazing simply, then this is where we can see the gains already in economic issues.